A dog, a silent house, and the moment I realized I wasn't truly living. I never would have guessed that a quiet evening spent with my dog would begin to shift something deep within me. While my husband was away chasing dreams wrapped in deadlines and frequent flyer miles, I found myself at home with Rocky, our golden retriever, and slowly rediscovering what it felt like to truly be present. But before I share this deeply personal story, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe for more emotional stories like this one. It all started a few weeks ago. My husband had left for yet another business trip. Nothing new. He travels often, sometimes for days, sometimes for weeks. I didn't resent him for it. His career gave us a beautiful home in a quiet neighborhood, financial comfort, and all the things we're told we should be grateful for. But what it didn't give me, what I hadn't realized I was missing, was connection. That evening, I sat in our dimly lit living room. The house was still, the kind of silence that doesn't feel peaceful but rather suffocating. Rocky, my loyal companion for 5 years, padded over and gently rested his head on my lap. He didn't speak, of course, but he didn't need to. That one small gesture said everything. I'm here. As my fingers moved through his soft fur, something inside me loosened. There was no music, no movie that could have offered the comfort his presence gave me. In that stillness, I realized just how much he had quietly filled a void I hadn't dared to name. I had grown used to my husband being gone. His job demanded a lot, and I tried to be understanding. But understanding doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Our home, filled with space and light, often felt like a shell. A beautiful, echoing shell with no warmth left inside, except for Rocky. He had been with us since he was a tiny ball of fluff, clumsy, curious, and always underfoot. Over time, he became more than just a pet. He became the heartbeat of my days. Especially the lonely ones. The ones where I ate dinner alone. The ones where I'd scroll through pictures of smiling families on social media, wondering if I'd somehow missed a turn somewhere in life. That night, after another silent meal, I found myself whispering to Rocky, "What would I even do without you?" His golden eyes met mine, gentle and knowing. His tail tapped the floor once, a soft thud that seemed to say, "You're not alone." Sometimes we forget how healing it is to be seen, even if it's by someone who doesn't speak our language. Rocky had this uncanny ability to read me, understanding my moods before I even did. When I cried silently, he'd nudge his head into my hands. When I smiled, he'd wag his tail a little harder. He never judged, never asked why. He just stayed. Later that night, I left my half-finished glass of wine on the coffee table and stared blankly at the TV playing something I wasn't even following. Rocky climbed onto the couch beside me, pressing his warm body against mine. I whispered again, "You always know, don't you?" His soft tail thump was the only reply. I don't know how long we sat like that, in that peaceful, wordless bubble. Time felt suspended. Then something unexpected happened. The next morning, Rocky came back from his usual run around the backyard with something clutched in his teeth, a worn, leather-bound notebook. I knelt to take it from him, intrigued. Pages were filled with faded scribbles, sketches, and fragments of someone else's forgotten thoughts, probably from a former resident. But as I flipped through the entries, something inside me stirred. Their words mirrored so much of what I had felt. Loneliness, longing, questions about a life that looked perfect on the outside but felt hollow within. Rocky sat nearby, patient as always, as if he knew what I was thinking. I looked at him and said, "You always bring me back to what matters." And I meant it. That morning, something inside me shifted. Later, I took him for a walk to the park. The air was crisp, children's laughter floated in the distance, and the world felt like it was breathing differently. As we sat beneath a tree, I whispered, "Rocky, I think I forgot how to really live." He perked up his ears, listening, like always. Maybe I'd spent too long waiting for something I couldn't even name. The wind carried my words away, but he stayed, unmoving, grounding me in the moment. I remembered something my husband once joked, "Rocky's the best therapist money never bought." That day, it felt truer than ever. Back home, I pulled out an old notebook, a blank one. And for the first time in years, I wrote, not for anyone else. Not for a deadline or social media. Just for me. Memories, dreams, frustrations. Words poured out like they had been waiting all along. Rocky, as always, stayed by my side. That evening, I told him, sometimes I wonder if this is the life I was meant to live. This house. This routine. A husband I barely see. A schedule that feels like a loop on repeat. His eyes met mine, and for a moment I felt seen in a way I hadn't in years. While cooking dinner, I admitted something out loud, maybe more to myself than to Rocky. I always wanted to travel. Not for someone else. Not as a plus one. Just me. I wanted to wander cities, eat weird street food, get lost, and find myself. Rocky tilted his head again as if to say, then what's stopping you? That question lingered. The next day, during our morning walk, I spotted a flyer at the local bookstore, a creative writing workshop. My heart fluttered. It wasn't a plane ticket or a backpacking trip through Europe, but it was something. A step. A spark. When we got home, I wrote the date in my calendar and made myself a quiet promise. Go. Just go. That night, as I looked out the window at the fading light, Rocky curled up beside me once more. I whispered, maybe this is the start of something new. He nudged my hand again, reassuring me in the way only he could. And for the first time in a very long while, I didn't feel like I was waiting anymore. Because maybe it takes a silent house, a loyal dog, and the echo of your own forgotten voice to remind you, life isn't meant to be endured, it's meant to be lived. Not through someone else's calendar, not behind perfectly filtered pictures, but in the messy, raw, beautiful moments that ask nothing of you except to feel. And sometimes it's not a grand gesture that saves you. It's a nudge. A notebook. A dog named Rocky.